Hello fellow photographers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to show you how I converted this photo into this by manipulating the light and the direction of light from where it is coming. So as you can see, I have already imported the photo into Lightroom. In this tutorial we are going to use a bit more of selective tools. So if you don't have unlocked version of Lightroom or you are not paying for it, then you can go into the description where I have provided a link to download the unlocked version of Lightroom for your Android mobile. Let's start with the light section. I will increase the light and increase the contrast to around 50. The reason I am increasing the contrast this much is that I have clicked this image or this photograph on mobile phone, and so the resolution of the photograph is not that much high, or the quality of the photo is not that good. So we have to manipulate the colors and the photograph in such a way that it comes out to be a good one. I will increase the highlights to around 25 and decrease the shadows to give it a more contrasty look. Around 15 is okay. Increase the whites and decrease the blacks. Decreasing the blacks a bit more. Now to the curves. We will not use any particular RGB curve, but we will use the general curve, and we'll give 2 dots and a slight S curve. And increase the leftmost corner of the dot a bit up, so it gives a look like crushing the shadows. Okay, then we'll move to HSL panel. Here we will decrease the temperature a bit and increase the vibrance to around 10. Okay, it looks good. And decrease the saturation a bit. It is looking a bit more saturated. Now to the mix section, into the greens. I'll increase the hue of the greens to around 30 and decrease the saturation quite a bit, around 60, and increase the luminance to around 20 looks good. Now to the yellows. I'll decrease the hue of the yellow, decrease the saturation a bit, decrease the luminance to around 20 or 25. Then we'll move to dehaze and vignetting. We'll vignette the image at last, so just we'll dehaze it, because as you can see in the photograph, the mountains are a bit more hazy. So we'll increase the dehaze to around 12. And now we'll move to the selection area. First we'll apply the graduated filter to decrease the haze from the upper corner of the upper part of the photograph. To do that, I will increase the contrast and increase the saturation. Because when we decrease the saturation of greens, the saturation of the greens on this part also decreases quite a bit. We will fix the blues that are appearing After some time, let's apply a radial filter and increase the size of the radial filter. To show that the sunlight is coming from this direction, we'll increase the exposure, increase the highlights, let's increase the contrast also. Okay, now to the light section, increase the temperature to give it a glow or yellow look, and increase the saturation. Adjust the position and give it a bit of yellow color. Now, as we have increased the brightness and color of one part of the photograph, we'll also have to decrease it from the other part. So we'll pull one more gradual filter, increase its size, and just long press it and invert the mask so that bottom part of the photograph is automatically selected in a more gradual fashion. Now decrease the exposure from that part a bit. Okay, that is okay. Now as you can see, the path that is leading us to that bright area or the sunlighted area is kind of dull, so we want to pop it a bit. Back to the selection, zoom in quite a bit and select the brush. Now just make a rough selection of the road. Now select the eraser and remove the mask from the area which we don't want to select it, that is the trees and the side part of the photograph, the path, sorry. Here we have selected the path, increasing the exposure of the path a little bit and increasing the temperature to around 12 looks good. Okay, that gives a little bit more pop to the path. Now as we have introduced the blues in the upper right corner of the photograph, we will go back to the HSL panel and try to decrease it. About that looks good. And as we have also created a path and gave it a temperature, a bit more temperature, so I will change the hue, saturation and luminance of oranges to give it certain look. Increasing the luminance to give it a more pop. Now we can go back to vignetting if you like and increase it a bit. Okay, so that is our final image, guys. Here is the before and here is the after. Here is the before and here is the after. We have manipulated the light so that it seems to the viewers that it is coming from left hand corner of the photograph, because it was very blend in the starting. As you can see here, it has not any characteristic into the photograph, but by providing the light, the viewer's attention will lead to the light from the path and to the mountains. Thank you very much guys for watching the video.